Family, I want to do a sound check. Let me know if y'all can hear me loud and clear. Can you hear me loud and clear? Give me a fist bump. Ladies, give me some hearts. Can you hear me loud and clear? Can you hear me loud and clear, people? All right. I'm not going to make this too long, but I've sat back and I have observed the past 5 days of so-called riots. I want to distinguish the riots from the protests. I want to distinguish the riots from the protests. The protests were led by us. The protests were led by black people. The riots were led by white people. The protests were led by black people. The riots were led by white people. This is a very important distinction to make. It is a very important distinction to make. Now, let me first say this. We as a people, particularly the American African, particularly here, it applies universally. We are Pan-Africanists, so we speak to the whole race. But for those Africans in America, this particular nation of 50 million, this particular nation of 50 million better learn how to struggle by ourselves. Although we are not responsible for the white riots that took place these past 5 days, although we are not responsible for the riots that took place these past 5 days, we are responsible for the ideological atmosphere that allowed them to exist. We are responsible for the ideological atmosphere that allowed the riots to exist in the first place. See, we are colorblind to a fault. We are multicultural to a fault. We, have this fear of fighting an all-black fight. We have this fear of standing alone and being by ourselves. And because we have this fear of standing alone and being by ourselves, any other group in this country can come amongst black people and redirect a black agenda and turn it into a white agenda, turn it into an anti-African Latino agenda. And when I say anti-African Latino, I'm speaking of those Latinos who do not identify with the African race. I'm talking about those clearly African Spanish-speaking Latinos who don't identify with us. I'm not speaking about the millions who do. I'm not speaking about the millions who do. I'm speaking about the ones who don't. But any other group, LBGT, it doesn't matter what the focus is. Any other group can come amongst us and manipulate our struggle for their own political gain, because they know that we never want to struggle alone. They know that black people never ever want to be by themselves. If we were unapologetically African, those white folks could have never infiltrated the 2020 black protest for justice. If we were truly about self-determination, there's no way those Europeans could have came in and manipulated and undermined and sabotaged the 2020 black protests for justice. Because what we would have done is we would have had security who, had they come across any non-African, would have respectfully, politely, but firmly told them, you cannot join this march. We would have told them. We would have told them, you cannot join this march. This is an all-African affair. And if the white folks were to ask you, why can we not join this march? You can politically and respectfully educate them as to why they cannot be in this march. There are three main reasons as to why they cannot join the march. Number one, there are 50 million Africans in America, but there are nearly 250 million whites in America. There are 50 million Africans in America, but there are nearly 250 million whites. They outnumber you 5-1. That's not including the brothers in prison. If we subtract them from the 50 million, that 50 million gets even smaller. So if you allow a population of 250 million to integrate and amalgamate and assimilate, if you allow a population of 250 million to infiltrate, assimilate, and amalgamate into what is supposed to be an all-black struggle, they can take it over. Their sheer numerical power alone can dilute your struggle, undermine your struggle, sabotage your struggle, and redirect your struggle for somebody else's gain. This is not about hating anyone. This is not about hating anyone. This is about loving yourself and your agenda enough to protect it until the goal has been achieved. It is about loving your agenda enough to protect it until the goal has been achieved. A disorganized group of 50 million American Africans have no business allowing a much more organized group of 250 million whites to come amongst you and sabotage your movement. So then, the first reason you can't join this is because you guys outnumber us. If too many of you get involved in this, this is no longer a black struggle. It is a white struggle purely by the numbers. Purely by the numbers, it becomes a white struggle. Purely by the numbers. 250 million compared to 50 million. Are you out of your mind? 250 million compared to 50 million. Are you out of your mind? Reason number two. How y'all doing, ladies?
God bless you. I didn't mean to point at you, sir.
Oh, no, that's all right. That's all right.
Keep doing everything that you're doing.
I appreciate you, sweetheart. Thank you. Thank you, sweetie. Black women are beautiful, but let me refocus. Black women are beautiful, but let me refocus. Couple Dr. Papa supporters. Reason number two why white folks cannot struggle with us is because it is disingenuous for members of the white power structure. It is disingenuous for members of the white power structure. It is disingenuous for members of the white power structure to come amongst the oppressed and struggle with us when you should be in the big house struggling against your own political masters. Why do you have to come amongst us? Why do you have to join in on the oppressed? Why do you have to come amongst the oppressed to struggle when you are already a privileged white person? If you really care about black oppression, you don't come to the ghetto and march. You don't come to the ghetto and march. If you really care about black oppression, you will go amongst your own community, your own institutions, your own system, and you will struggle against your own people. Why would you leave? Why would you leave the seat of power? Why would you leave the seat of power where the decisions are made, the resources are distributed, the opportunities are determined? Why would you leave that and come all the way down to the ghetto and struggle with the powerless when you are a member of the powerful? Explain that to me. Explain that to me. It is disingenuous for a privileged people to come amongst the unprivileged and claim to care when you could have been of most use. You were of most benefit staying amongst your own and fighting there for the changes that are necessary, not with us. It is disingenuous to do that. So the first reason you can't march with us is because you outnumber us. The second reason you can't march with us because your work should be getting done where you live, not where we live. And the third reason why you cannot struggle amongst us is because the minute you join the black struggle, the minute you join the black struggle, it is no longer about black people. It is multicultural. The minute you join this, see, I want you to understand, and understand what I'm saying. By the way, my live streams are only for those who are seeking greater political awareness and Dr. Umar supporters. Peace, black man. All right. This is only for those seeking better political awareness and Dr. Umar supporters. If you are not of that, if you are not a revolutionary Pan-Africanist, if you are a coon, super coon, Negro in training, jump off. If you are a coon, super coon, Negro in training, jump off. If you're one of those mixed race Africans who don't want to be African, you don't know what you are, you belong to all groups, jump your ass up off. Now let me get into this a little deeper. Because we did not protect the agenda, we allow for members of the oppressors group to come in and manipulate this. Now, right now, I want to tell you who's behind the rioting, the destruction of property.
What's up, man?
Talk to me, black man.
Who it was. I know. I was like, that's Umar right there.
Peace and love. How y'all doing?
What's going on, man?
Y'all getting y'all exercise on?
Yeah, man. We trying
Okay.
to stay safe.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
Want?
I'm on my Instagram live, but talk to me. Y'all wanted to holler? Y'all wanted to pick, or what you want to do?
Yeah,
we definitely want to pick.
Come on, let's do it. Let's do it. So I can jump back into this conversation.
Right.
No doubt.
You got me, bro?
Yeah, I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna take
Right.
it. I'm gonna do one.
Yeah, right.
Oh, you got that good hair.
Probably because of the looting.
Sure. I'm gonna give you my number too, so y'all can holler at me because we about to do something for the brothers.
What's that? What's that?
Got it. Put my number up in there so y'all got it. You straight?
You was down there yesterday?
Nah.
Oh, no, he said.
Nah. I don't do integrated marches. 215-989-9858. Lock me in, shoot me a text, and then I'm gonna lock you in later. And then once we had a meeting, I'll hit y'all.
All right, bet.
All right? Y'all be safe out here.
All right, man.
Stay away from the white girls, all right?
You know what I mean?
Can't come to the meeting if you with them. Appreciate you, fellas.
Yes, sir.
All right. So let's get back to this Garveyism. Let's get back to this Garveyism. I want to tell you who's in charge, who's behind it. The destruction of property, the vandalism. You know who's behind it? The United States government and white capitalism. The United States government and white capitalism. The United States government and white capitalism. So let's deal with white capitalism and the United States government. It's one and the same, two faces, same beast. Two faces, same beast. Why would white capitalism want to destroy white business? Why would white capitalism want to destroy white business? I'll tell you why. They haven't made any money for 3 months due to quarantine. COVID shut down the entire white capitalist machine of America. And if you know anything about American business, you understand. If you know anything about American business, you understand that most of the businesses in this country are small and medium size. The big business own most of the wealth. The Walmarts, they own most of the wealth. The McDonald's, they own most of the wealth, but most of the businesses are small and medium size. Those businesses have been shut down for more than 3 months due to the COVID pandemic. Okay? Due to the white pandemic, business has been shut. So these small and medium-sized businesses have been losing millions of dollars a day. So guess what? If I'm going out of business because my own government sabotaged me, if I'm going out of business because I haven't been able to operate for 3 months because my own government sabotaged me and I didn't get the stimulus money that I was promised, or I didn't get enough of it, what is the quickest way for me to get some money before I file bankruptcy? What is the quickest way for me to get some cash before I shut down my operation? I'm going to have my businesses burned to the ground. That's right. I'm going to get an insurance payment. I'm going to get an insurance reimbursement. That's right. I'm going to get insurance compensation. I'm going to pay some white anarchists and some white leftists and some white radicals, and I'm going to pay them to infiltrate the black protests, burn and loot my business to the ground so I can get a check on the way out the door. I'm going to get a check from insurance. I'm going to get my bankruptcy. And then guess what? The government. Why did the government support the black capitalist agenda to destroy their own businesses? Because the government don't want to keep on paying out no stimulus money either. See, the government doesn't want to keep on paying out stimulus money either. So the government says, listen, we're going to help them out. We're going to help them out. And this is how we're going to help them out. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to order the police to stand down for the first 4 days of riots. We're going to order all police to stand down during the first 4 days of the riot. You are not to involve yourself. Let them do whatever they want to do for the first 4 days. Did you not notice? Did you not notice? Did you not notice? This is the first riot in American history. 400 years. This is the first riot in American history where the police did not engage black people. You don't find that suspicious? You don't find that suspicious? You don't find that suspicious? The first riot in American history where the police let black people do whatever they want. You don't find that suspicious? For the first 4 days, they did nothing. In Minneapolis, shout out to the brothers and sisters in Minneapolis who protested. We stand in solidarity with y'all. We know y'all didn't destroy the property. Shout out to the brothers and sisters who protested right here in Philadelphia. I did not join you because I do not join integrated marches. That's why I was not there. And you will never catch me as an integrated march because they're useless. They're useless. That's why I was not there. Don't waste my time. Now, those brothers and sisters in Atlanta, Seattle, Houston, Dallas, Evansville, Wilmington, we ride with y'all. Okay? And we know that you were the protesters. You were not the rioters. Now, as far as the looting go, black people were the protesters. White people were the rioters. Now, as far as the looting goes, shout out to Oakland. Yes, Oakland. I will see you soon, Oakland. We working on Oakland. Charleston, South Carolina. We working on that. Once the pandemic is over, we're going to get back to this Pan-Africanism. Once the pandemic is over, we're going to get back to this Pan-Africanism. But let me continue this. Let me continue this. The first riot in American history. So you mean to tell me the same police that choked out Brother George, the same police that shot Sister Brianna, the same mentality that killed Aubrey and Trayvon and Philando and Tamir and Sandra and Walter and Eric, the same police that killed black people for walking, for talking, for driving, for shopping, for sneezing, for breathing, the same police that will kill you for raising your voice will let you burn down a police precinct. Who in the hell believes that? Who believes that? Because if you believe that, I need to go and get my psychological assessment kit. If you believe that, I need to go and get my psychological assessment kit, and you need an intelligence test right now. I need to give you the Wechsler Adult Intelligence Scale. That's what I need to give you. Let's see what that IQ score looking like. Police are not only going to stand down, they're going to let you burn down their entire precinct. And to help you, they're going to go to another side of the city to make sure nobody interferes with you burning down their place of work. You're out of your damn mind. They will kill black people for looking at them wrong. They will kill you for raising your voice. And you want me to believe? You want me to believe that they left you alone to burn down the police precinct? You're out of your mind. You are out of your mind. This was a government operation. So that's evidence number one. Evidence number two. You mean to tell me there's 36 riots? These are the most violent riots in America since the 1967 Long Hot Summer riots and the 1968 Dr. King assassination riots. 52 years. Years. All of the technology this country has, all of the surveillance that Homeland Security has, all of the surveillance that the FBI has, all of the surveillance that the National Security Agency has, all of the surveillance that the police departments have, and you haven't found a single white person who has committed arson in this entire week. Do you want me to believe that? All the cameras, all the helicopters, all the airplanes, all the undercover cops. And you haven't found a single, not one. We haven't seen one white person arrested for arson yet. Do you think that's a coincidence? You know why nobody been arrested for arson? Because half the people committing arson are undercover agents of the FBI and undercover police. Some of y'all have sent me the footage. Some of you have sent me the footage of suspicious white folk setting fire to businesses, breaking out the windows on the AutoZone, busting out the windows at the McDonald's and the Foot Locker. Nearly everybody who started the fire was white. Nobody's been arrested. Who do you think is behind this? And then when you listen to the news will say things like, will say things like, we're being told that a lot of those who are rioting are joining from out of town. They are left-wing activists and anarchists and people from other cities and towns and people who just want to start trouble, but they will not use the word white. Why won't the media just come out and say white people are setting the fires? Why don't you hear that? Why don't you hear that? Left-wing anarchists, liberals, suburbans, they will not say white people. You know why? Because they don't want to make it obvious that they know who's doing it. They couldn't have done it if we weren't colorblind. They couldn't have done it if we were not multicultural. They couldn't have done it if we were not organized. The government is sending them in. Business is sending them in. And then guess what the next stimulus package is going to be? Talking about some Dr. Umar, why you ain't out here with us with a damn integrated march. In half them cities, you got more white people marching than blacks. If you care that much about black people, why are you not struggling in your institutions? If you care that much about black people, why are you not boycotting your own neighborhoods? Why you ain't burning down the suburbs if you care that much about me? What I was going to say about the looting is I don't care about that. Once the business was set on fire by white folks, black people have an unconstitutional right to go and take whatever there before it burns. Why let it burn? So whether you got some tissue, some cell phones, some sneakers, some clothes, some food, I don't give a damn if you grab the Mercedes. Once they set fire to the institution, get as much as you can get and get your ass up out of there. So I don't have no problem with no damn looting. Looting is an act of war. Looting is an act of war. Peace, black man. How you doing there? How you doing there, sister?
How you feeling?
All
brother?
right, all is
Glad
well.
to see you, man.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, where we going, man?
Well, I'm just relaxing, you know, talking to the people on the live about this
good.
so-called riots.
Well,
you know what I mean?
That all day, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You going live with it?
Yeah, I'm live.
Okay, all right.
Did you?
I'm gonna follow you.
Oh, okay,
I'm gonna do it
okay.
right now.
Oh, yeah, get
I got
on
a lot
it.
to say.
Okay.
I know you got a lot to say. I know
Yes,
I
sir.
need to learn.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate
All
you,
right, brother. Be
Appreciate
safe,
it, man.
y'all.
You be
All
safe,
right.
all
All right now. So, I had an ADHD moment. I had an ancestral diversion for higher development. What was I saying? I had an ADHD moment, ancestral diversion for higher development. But anyhow, I don't mind the looting because you go to war to get resources. America invades country to get shit. Not for democracy. There has never been no country invaded for nobody's right to vote. That is a lie. Countries are invaded for resources, to take things, oil, gas, crops, minerals, metals. You go to war to get. So I have no problem with black people looting. You mean to tell me we've given this country 243 years of unpaid labor and I'm supposed to feel bad that I took some shit after your people burned the building down? Or are you out of your mind right now? See, part of being unapologetically African is knowing when you should feel guilty and when you should feel proud. In fact, I'll be angry at any of you if you had a chance to reclaim a little reparations for the ancestors by looting those damn shops. You better have taken an air conditioner, grab a weave, a perm, get you a bottle of perm juice. You better have gotten something out of them damn stores. You supposed to loot. You supposed to loot. The hell wrong with you? You supposed to loot. And have you noticed the media is talking more about people looting than people burning? Have you noticed that? Have you noticed the media is talking more about the looting than the burning? What do you think costs the business more money? What is more expensive? The burning down of a multi-million-dollar structure or the stealing of a couple items that you can replace? What is more important to the capitalist enterprise? We know the answer to that. We know the answer to that. The burned buildings are more important, but you want to focus on the looters because the looters are black. 5 days of riots, no white person arrested for starting a fire. I find that suspicious. You want to know why no police were there? Donald Trump made them stand down. Donald Trump knew what was going on. He said, listen, white folks are angry and they're going to use this as an opportunity to to recoup some insurance money for all the money they lost during the COVID quarantine. So I don't want no police on the site. Pull the police back. Let them burn down so they can get insurance. Let them burn. You have never seen police allow an American city to burn in your life. You have never seen it. You have never seen it. They did it because the government is supporting white capital's agenda to get some insurance compensation to make up for all the money they lost during COVID. They used the 2020 Black Protest for Justice to give white folk an economic stimulus package, and they did it because you Negroes don't want to struggle by yourself. And then you black activists, I love you, brothers and sisters. You are intelligent. Your comments were powerful. But I got one problem with you black activists who get on television. I'm talking about the young folks. The older folks is already sold out. I'm talking about the youth. All right. The issue with you all is every time you make comments, how you doing there, beautiful?
Good. I went by you and I was like, I was just trying to.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. How you doing today, beautiful?
Good. I'm doing well.
All is well?
Yeah.
You staying out of trouble?
You know, I might go out later today.
Okay.
But
You got your camera on there?
yeah, I got.
I'm coming right to you.
Might give out some waters to protesters
Okay.
as well. But yeah, can I get a
Sure.
picture?
All right. You be safe out
Yes,
here.
have a blessed
All right,
day.
sister. Be blessed. So now, where was I? I had another ADHD moment. Ancestral diversion for higher development. What did I say last? What did I say last? Oh, the young activists. The young activists. My issue with the young activists is the fact that every time y'all make comments about the black struggle, y'all have to conclude your comments by saying this is about everybody. Y'all have to stop doing that. This is not about everybody. It is about us. This struggle is not about everybody. It is about us. Y'all have to stop saying that it's about everybody because it's not. It's about us. This is our struggle. It is for black people. It is not for everybody. So I need you young activists. See, I need to do a political education conference for the young activists because you're brilliant, you're intelligent, you speak well, but you still have an integrationist mindset. You say all that good stuff for 10 minutes and then you end the conversation. This is not just about us. This is for everybody. No, it is not. It is not. It is for us and us only. Get that through your head. I know it's hard for y'all to understand that because church in public school. I know it's hard for y'all to understand that because church in public school. I know it's hard for y'all to understand that because church in public school has convinced you that you must be colorblind and multicultural. But I want you to understand something. White supremacy was invented after the Bible. White supremacy was invented after the Torah. White supremacy was invented after the Holy Quran. So there's no solutions in those books for what you're facing. There's no solutions in those books for what you're facing. So we need to do a political education conference for young revolutionaries. You don't have to be a Pan-Africanist, but we do have to wake you up to black self-reliance. You might not be ready to claim Africa yet due to reasons of self-hate, but we still have to give you a political education so you can stop making our struggle for everybody. See, making it for everybody turned this into a damn white riot party. That's what that did. See, being multicultural sabotaged the whole damn movement and turned it into a white riot party. Let me explain something to you, my multicultural African-American activists. Let me explain something to you, my multicultural, politically uneducated, young African-American activists. If these white folk really cared about your freedom, let me tell you what they would have did for you. Remember a couple of weeks ago, white folk in many of America's states got fed up with the forced quarantine policies. Remember that? They said, we're tired of being in the house. And after white folk got tired of being in the house, what did they do? They got their rifles and they shotguns and they semi-automatic weapons. Correct me if I'm wrong, brothers and sisters. They said, we are tired of not being able to go to work. We are running out of money. We don't have food. We can't pay our bills. And you're making us stay in the house. We're tired of this. They grabbed the rifle, shotgun, semi-automatic, and they stormed the state capitals in at least a quarter of America's states. Who remembers this? It's only a few weeks old. Who remembers this? It's only a few weeks old. Who remember this? It's only a few weeks old. They stormed the Capitol, armed weapons, and said, we want an end to COVID quarantine. Did they not? And what happened within a week after that? The governors started talking about, we're going to go to phase 3 and phase 2 and phase 1. We're going to weaken and loosen up the quarantine restrictions. Well, guess what? My multicultural, politically uneducated, young African-American activists, if these white folk who are marching with you cared about you so much, why didn't they storm their capitals with rifles demanding an end to racism? Why didn't they do the same thing they did for COVID quarantine for black life and justice if they care about you so much? If they care about you so much, why didn't they grab their rifles and shotguns and semi-automatics and go to the capital, the state capital of Pennsylvania, the state capital of Michigan, the state capital of Minnesota, the state capital of Georgia, the state capital of California? If they love y'all so much, why didn't they do for you what they did for COVID quarantine? Because you too afraid to be part of an all-black march. Because you too afraid to be a part of an all-black movement. Because you too afraid to be part of an all-black cause, and you think I was going to run down there with a bunch of multiculturals? Y'all look at me like I'm crazy. I'm from another planet when it comes to y'all. I'm from planet Garvey when it comes to y'all. I'm from planet Malcolm when it comes to y'all. I'm from planet Nkrumah when it comes to y'all. I'm from planet Dedan Kimathi and Robert Sobukwe when it comes to y'all. And Sekou Touré when it comes to y'all. And Kwame Touré and Henry Highland Garnett and Alexander Crummell and Bishop Turner and Martin Delaney. I'm from another planet when you come to you integrationists and Negroes. Keep on letting infiltrate. They infiltrated Black Lives Movement, turned it into an LBGT front. They infiltrated Me Too, turned it into a heterosexual alpha male attack movement on black males. They infiltrated the NAACP and the Urban League and turned that into a black bourgeoisie lunch party. Every time you let them in, they take over. Because they don't share power. Second rule of white supremacy, they don't share power. White people do not share power with black people. If you believe they do, provide me with an example. It does not exist. People who think they better than you will never struggle equally with you. People who think they better than you will never struggle equally with you. You need to understand, understand, and overstand what the Prince of Pan-Africanism is trying to teach you right now. Why didn't they storm their own state capitals with weapons? Do you know what would happen in America if all these so-called white liberals and white anarchists and white leftists, If they stormed every state capital of America and said the next time a police officer kills a black person, we going to war with the police, you won't see another black person dead in America forever. I'm going to say it again. I want you to understand, overstand, and understand what I'm telling you. If these liberal whites really cared about you, they could storm their state capital and threaten the governors and tell the governors point blank with rifle in hand, semi-automatic in hand, shotgun in hand, they would tell them, if another black person is murdered by another white police anywhere in this country, we are going to war with the police. If they did that for you, no more black people would die in this country. You would never see another act of police genocide again in your life. So why don't they do that? So why don't they do that? See, I'm not your YouTubers. I'm not your YouTubers. I'm not your fake wokers. I'm not none of these hotep conscious community fake scam artists who ain't got no solutions for you. But another video, another debate, another documentary, another summer jam. I'm about solutions. I'm about solutions. So the next time white folks want to come infiltrating your protest march, tell them to go to the government with their weapons and give them an offer that they can't refuse. That's how you handle this. Y'all want me to believe that the police let black people do what they want for 4 days, including burning down police precincts? Are you out of your mind? Are you out of your mind? And to the white folks who are watching, to the white folks, we don't hate you. I don't hate you, white folks. You can struggle for me. White people, listen, you can struggle for me. Anglo-Saxon, Italian, Irish, Southern European, Western European, Eastern European, Northern European. You can struggle for me, but you cannot struggle with me. You can struggle for me, but you cannot struggle with me. You can struggle for me, but you cannot struggle with me. You can struggle for me by going to your own people. You can struggle for me by going to your own institutions. You can struggle for me by going to your own power brokers and forcing them to change. You don't need me to be with you, and you don't need to be with me. You can struggle for me, but you cannot struggle with me. You cannot struggle with me. You cannot join my movement. If you want to start a white movement for black justice, be my guest. I will applaud you and support you, but do not require my presence. I will support you. I will advertise you. I will market for you, but do not require my presence and do not come amongst me. Go ahead and fight for me. I do not have to be there. Go ahead. Y'all never do that. Y'all never do that because you're not trying to change nothing for us. You're simply trying to use our struggle to benefit your own agenda. I'm sorry, my political IQ is on max. When it comes to political intelligence, I'm mentally gifted. IQ of 180. Don't come to me with games. Don't come to me with games. They could end racism in 24 hours for black folks. All these liberals. All these liberals. Shout out to Michael Eric Dyson and Dr. Cornel West. Shout out to Dr. Dyson and Dr. West. Y'all my elders. You're very intelligent, well-learned, scholars, well-written, well-spoken. Old enough to be my father. And I will not disrespect you. But I need you two in particular to stop allowing Democrats to influence you to use this occasion as an opportunity to hypnotize black folks into going to the polls to vote for Joe Biden. Will you please stop being a tool for the power structure? I'm begging you, elders. I'm begging you, elders. I'm begging you, elders. Talk about the protests. Do not bring up the presidential election. Do not bring up Joe Biden. Stop it. Stop using my people's pain to help white folks get elected. It's not right. It's not right, and I know y'all know better than that. Please stop. Please stop. Stop it. You entertainers out there, I need y'all to go a little harder too. You entertainers out there, I need y'all to go a little harder because y'all coming off kind of soft right now. See, this is where you separate the boys from the men. This is where you separate the real from the unreal. You either for your people or you for the bourgeoisie. You can't serve two masters. You can't serve two masters. You either for your people or you for the bourgeoisie. You can't serve two masters. Are you grassroots or not? You can't have one feet in the streets and another feet in the governor's office. It don't work that way. It don't work that way. That's why I don't have relationships with black bourgeoisies. So I don't have to feel funny when I got to speak up for my people because there's no black bourgeoisies that I got a relationship with. I can't have one. It's a conflict of interest. You can't serve two masters. I'm going to get ready to wrap this up. I'm going to probably take 10 questions, then I got to move on. I'm going to probably take 10 questions, then I got to move on. But that's how I'm coming at y'all. That's how I'm coming at y'all. I'm coming at you hard with that Garvey talk. Don't play with me. Don't come to me with no Bible and no Quran talking about this is the solution. How the hell can a book that's been used to oppress black people be used to liberate black people? Don't play with me. I'm not attacking your religion. I'm simply saying it doesn't have the solutions that our people need in the 21st century. I'm not attacking your religion. But it does not have the solutions that our people need in the 21st century. Black agenda. I done already gave y'all that. If you go on my Instagram and Twitter, I done already gave you the 10-point program of what we're supposed to be fighting for. Let me see if I can remember the 10-point program. This is what we should have been fighting for. Number one, 10-point program, 2020 Black Protests for Justice. Number one, we want to end to mandatory. These are all equal. None are more important than the other. Number one, we want to end to mandatory minimum sentencing. We want to end to force plea bargains for black brothers and sisters who are locked up and forced to take deals for no other reason that they can't afford effective legal representation. We want every black man and woman in the country with a nonviolent felony on their record to have that expunged if they have not been into any conflict for a period of no longer than 10 years. Number two, we want community control of the public schools. We decide who gets hired and who gets fired. All abandoned public schools are automatically turned over to the black community so we can then use them for number three. We want to organize with the black farmers of the United States of America. We want to organize with Black Africa. We got farmers all in Black Africa. We got farmers in Central America. We got African farmers in Brazil and throughout South America. We got farmers in Jamaica and Cuba and Panama. We got farmers in Haiti, Turks and Caicos and St. Martin. We got farmers in Bahamas and Bermuda. And we want to import from our own black farmers. And we're going to turn every abandoned black public school into a black organic market. I said we're going to turn every abandoned black public school into a black organic market. I said we're going to turn every abandoned public school in the ghetto into a black organic market for our people. Because we living in food deserts and nutrition deserts. We living in food deserts and nutrition deserts. So number one, you're going to get rid of those mandatory minimum sentences. And you're going to let our fathers out of jail so they can come home and be fathers to their sons. So you can stop pumping them with Ritalin and Adderall and Concerta and Medidate and Vyvanse. Give them their father, not the medication. Black power. Give them their father, not the medication. Number two, you're going to give us community control of the public schools. That includes all abandoned buildings. Number three, we're going to use those abandoned buildings for the black farmers. Black farmers, get ready. Black farmers, get ready. We're going to get y'all some, what they call that, transportable trucks, which we invented, by the way. Black people invented the refrigerator on the truck to transport crops. We're going to get our black farmers some crops. We're going to get them the transportation. And every week they're going to bring their crops up to the black schools, which are now the organic farms. That's what we're going to do. No more food desert. no more nutrition desert, and no more poppy shops serving as the supermarket. No more food deserts, no more nutrition deserts, and no more poppy shops serving as the supermarket. No more food deserts, no more nutrition deserts, and no more poppy shops serving as the food market. That's right. Number 4, we want to end to forced vaccinations. You are not forcing black people to take anything. You ain't forcing our elders to take them flu shots. You ain't forcing our teenage girls to take them HPV shots. You ain't forcing us to take no damn COVID-19 shot. Our kids ain't taking no measles shot or none of that, because it ain't doing nothing but causing autism, cancer, and time-release death. Next thing we fighting for: eliminate all college loan debt for black folks forever. No college loan debt. Erase it. Next to that, we want all the building trade programs put back in the high schools. I said we want all the building trade programs put in the high schools. That's right. We want our sons and daughters to graduate plumbers licensed by the state, graduate electricians licensed by the state, graduate carpenters licensed by the state, graduate auto mechanics licensed by the state. Oh yes. Oh yes. They can go to college if they want, but they're going to grab this trade license on the way out the door to make sure they can feed their family. Because he who can work with his hands can feed his family. If you only got a bunch of brain information, you might go hungry. So put the trade programs back in. And then we want a post-high school entrepreneurial program where you train black kids in how to open their own business, and you give them the grants and the loans so they can open their own business. We want an alternative to college. We want 2 alternatives. We don't need trade school no more because you're going to make sure they graduate with a trade. We don't need trade school no more because you're going to make sure they graduate with a trade. We don't need trade school no more because you're going to make sure they graduate with a trade, and then you're going to give them money so they can open up their own business. That's what we're supposed to be fighting for. Not no damn multiculturalism. Not no damn multiculturalism. Not no damn multiculturalism. Also, all police must come from the neighborhood that they police. All police must come from the neighborhood that they police. Absolutely no ex-military cutouts. Absolutely no ex-international mercenaries. You must come from our community if you're going to police our community. If you don't live in our community, you cannot police our community. And the racial composition of every single police force better be representative of the black population in that city. That's what we want. Not no damn vote. I don't give a damn about no Joe Biden and Donald Trump. We don't need no vote. We need resources and opportunities. We need resources and opportunities. I got the whole 10-point program on my Instagram. Just scroll down. Twitter, scroll down. I'm not going to go through all the points right now. I'm in Facebook jail for 30 days. I'm in Facebook jail for 30 days. I'm in Facebook jail for 30 days because I posted that white woman with her doggy in Central Park who called the police on that brother, lying, saying he was threatening her safety simply because he asked her, what was it, put a muzzle on the dog or something they were supposed to do with the dogs in the park, and she didn't want to comply, so she said she's going to call the police on that brother. And that's the same woman you coons want to bring home to your mother. That's the same type of woman y'all can't wait to bring home to your damn mother. You sorry ass coons. You sorry coons out there. I want to close out by saying 2 things. Number 1, we found the blueprints for the Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy. Number 2, the architect is reviewing the blueprints because we have to make some changes. We have to bring the blueprints up to 2020 code. There has been changes to the building code since FDMG was erected as the Moyer Academy nearly 10 years ago. Once that's done, I am then going to start accepting offers from plumbers, electricians, and carpenters to get the work done. I'm going to need y'all to make more donations. Brothers and sisters. I want the school, the Honorable Marcus Garvey School and Gym, renovated by 11/11/2020. That is the day Nat Turner was martyred. That was the day they hung the greatest black revolutionary in American history, November the 11th, 1831. So on November the 11th of 2020, I want to have the school ready because that's when it's going to start getting cold outside. It starts getting cold early November. I want the school ready so we can have our homeschool conference. I want the school ready so our sisters can come and have our unapologetically Black African womanhood conference, so we can have our ex-offenders conference, so we can have our Black farmers conference, so we can have our Black liberation economic conference. I want the school ready. So get them in. Cash App $FDMG school. Cash App $FDMG school. $FDMG school, and mail it in. P.O. Box 9634 Wilmington, Delaware. Mail it in. P.O. Box Black Power. Mail it in, 9634 Wilmington, Delaware, 19809. Get those resumes in. You want to work at the school, fdmgresumes@gmail.com. I've been receiving a lot of wifey resumes, but I'm not going through them yet. Politics over Punani, consciousness over coochie. Politics over Punani, consciousness over coochie. I'm not going through the wifey resumes. I have to go through the school resumes first. School resumes first. We'll snatch up the 2 wifeys later. We'll snatch up the 2 wifeys later. If anybody need to reach me, y'all know the number, 215-989-9858. Y'all know the number, 215-989-9858. Internationally, add me on WhatsApp. Shout out to Africa. Shout out to Senegal. Shout out to Ghana. Shout out to Liberia. Shout out to Cote d'Ivoire. Shout out to Angola. Shout out to the Congo. Shout out to Eritrea. Shout out to the Africans in Kemet. Shout out to Ethiopia. Shout out to Malawi, Lesotho, South Africa, Zimbabwe. Shout out to all the African nations. Shout out to the brothers and sisters in Brazil. Hold y'all head. Brazil, we standing with y'all. They trying to hit y'all with that COVID bomb. Stand strong, Brazil. We got you. Africans in South America, stand strong. Africans in Central America, stand strong. Stand strong, Jamaica. Stand strong, Haiti. Stand strong, Bahamas. Stand strong, Bermuda. Stand strong, Black Europe, Black Paris, Black England, Black Germany. Stand strong as one family. Stand strong as one family. And by the way, Jamaica, I'm sorry that they sold the Jamaican import-export coast to the Chinese. I'm very disappointed that the government of Jamaica allowed the Chinese to buy your major port. No other race should own the major port of a black nation. No other race should own the major port of a black nation. I do not want to foment rebellion, but Black Jamaica may have to rebel against the Chinese ownership of your port. Y'all may have to go to the port, stage a protest, and shut it down. Y'all might have to do that. I'm disappointed in the president of Ghana for signing off on the Bill Gates vaccination protocol. I'm disappointed in the president of Ghana for doing that. I still respect him for the year of no return. I still respect him for dual citizenship. I respect him for that. But why did we sign off on the Bill Gates vaccination protocol when Madagascar has an organic cure for COVID? If you have an African nation with an organic cure for COVID, why do we need Bill Gates's vaccinations? For those of you who subscribe to the Dr. Papa podcast, you always get your links within 24 hours. After you subscribe to the podcast, we will automatically, Team Pan African will automatically send you the links to the podcast. You don't have to let me know you subscribe. If you don't get your links within 2 days, let me know so I can check, because sometimes y'all make your email address inaccurate. If you want to subscribe to the podcast, go to my Instagram bio, Twitter bio, Facebook bio, click on the link and you subscribe. This is the Prince of Pan-Africanism, King Kong Consciousness, International Ifa Tunde, the most requested black scholar in the world, #1 orator of the 21st century, greatest black school psychologist of all time. Peace and black.